So, welcome back, everybody. This is, I guess we're about 60% into our mini conference day, and we have a treat because Maralee Sautter, she is the grand poobah of the Instructional Design and Learning SIG, and she and I were having a conversation a couple of months ago that she would like to do some kind of fun thing to help us recruit new volunteers. And she said, and I think I want to make a video. And I said, hey, Maralee, if you could share the process of making that video with us, we could put you in our mini conference. And so that's how we came to be today. Maralee, knowing that both the mini conference and getting more volunteers were two of our goals, she couldn't say no. And I'm so glad that she didn't. So, Maralee, teach us how you made this nice, scary, I love this graphic, this nice, scary presentation of what is sometimes scary for the rest of us. Making videos is little bit scary if you don't do it all the time. So take it away.
Thank you, Vicki. I appreciate the introduction here. And I'm going to review that what I am going to do in this presentation is follow the process that it took in making a volunteer recruiting video for the IDL SIG. And also just to let you know, I am one of those people who's going to turn my camera off after I introduce myself here a little more. And the reason I'm doing that is logistical problems. It's purely having to do with the setup in my home office. So a little bit about me. As you know, I am now the manager of the IDL SIG. And this video was in hope of attracting some new volunteers, especially a co-manager and an assistant manager, but volunteers as well. So I have been a technical communication professional since 2000. I have been retired now, an adjunct faculty member of the English technical writing office, division of Portland State University, I should. And that particular involvement, I started teaching in 2007, and the educational aspect of working at Portland State was really good for me because I was teaching online and in the classroom. And so the experience gave me background to kind of launch into an instructional design. Since I've been a contractor for a lot of my years in the profession and worked at Portland State part-time, this was a great introduction for me to be able to, do online classes as well as in the classroom. And so it was a good experience and a great launch point for me. Also, I'm just going to discuss my previous life in broadcast, radio and TV, and hopefully that'll be, I think it's relevant because you have kind of standards that you build up to. So without further ado, I'm going to turn off my camera if I'm not already. Let me see where I am. Oh, yes, indeed. I'm going to try. There we go. Oh, I actually was off camera, wasn't I? Okay, well, I'll stop the video anyway. All right, so onward. Okay, so I'm going to start with the presentation outline, and I'll just go over this briefly, but what you see here is I'm going to go through my backstory about the what I learned in audio and video production. Then I'll go through, the original concept. Okay, let's do a video. And then what the steps after that were planning, the storyboard, and then the tools that I used in order to make this video that I'll show at the very end. Then I'll do a process recap, just a quick one, and the lessons that I have learned along the way, if we have time for that. And then the video demo will be shown at the end of this presentation. So that's where I will go to. Let's see now. Something has not happened. I don't know why it's not showing my, there we go. There we go. All right, so we're going to start with the concept. The original concept for the video, it obviously is we need new blood. And what we're, the real motivation was to bring new volunteers on board. So the idea was that we needed to, my self-assigned task was to create the video. And for several reasons, I am looking for my replacement, and managers and chapter presidents are often hard positions to fill. So we've normally hired within, but it's a hard sell sometimes. So I thought I'd give it a try with Vicki giving me encouragement and cheering me on, as she always does. The call to action was to attract volunteers, but of course, I think it will probably generate some interest in the IDL SIG, because this is kind of what we do. Some of our, in instructional design, we do presentations, of course, and then we also do videos, in training videos and such. So just kind of a good example of what we do in the SIG. And at the end, I was hoping to, to upload the video to our media channels such as LinkedIn and YouTube is hopefully the place where we're going to record the final version. So I'm going to start with the preface, which is my backstory in audio production. And sorry, that was a guy. I couldn't find one with a woman carrying that big, hefty equipment. So, and that's something interesting about my broadcast experience, because I've really been enamored with video and audio production for a long time, since about 1990, when my husband and I purchased broadcast quality video camera. And we also had some really excellent sound equipment to complete the package. So you've got to understand that I have this studio, the Ragtag studio now, and it's a lot different than what I had experienced a long time ago. So anyway, that was back in the day when the equipment was very bulky and heavy. And so I'd be lugging this 45-pound camera on the shoulder, because I was the videographer, and a 30-pound recording deck by myself. So it was really difficult to move around, what we called in the field. So, going out and shooting film here and there, or a video here and there of things. So I really appreciated when we were able to be in our own in-house studio, because we had it all set up, and it really was a good place to do the recording, etc. Although everything these days, the quality of video is so much better. I mean, you can whip out your iPhone or your smartphone, and you can take a decent video of something just without lugging all that 75 pounds around. So obviously the technology has really advanced, and so there are some benefits. But I was really used to good quality back then. And then a few years earlier, I had worked at Oregon Public Broadcast Radio, and I did a lot of recording in the field. So I had such excellent equipment. So that was another thing. My experience deepened when I had to create voiceovers for my own radio magazine show. And so that really kind of is a lot of what I actually did in producing this video, because I did my recording through my own sound system, and I'll give you I'll show you what these pieces of equipment look like. They're kind of modest compared to what I'm used to. So anyway, my husband and I filmed and produced and marketed Sound the Trumpet, a technical book in video on how to play the trumpet. So my husband is a classical musician, and so he wanted to create a video book instead of writing. And so he still ended up having to write the script, but so he didn't get out of writing the script. He just got out of writing, doing the book, writing the book. So he did the video instead. He wrote the script. So the video was my introduction to script writing, organizing information, and doing both video and auto recording. And we just called this production. That's the term that broadcast people use. So Sound the Trumpet was really foundational in my later move to technical communication. I've learned a lot about software tools through the years and technology. So every experience I've had in the past is relatable when I produced this IDL SIG video, recruiting video. So through the years, I've learned that the most important part of success, it actually comes down to planning. So we're going to, that's one of the steps in the process, and we call it pre-production in broadcast terms. Okay, so the first steps that I took was, and I always try to do is to get organized, right? So what I did was create a simple to-do list of an outline of what I was going to do. And then I transferred this into a Word document. So the reason I like to start with a list on paper is because I get, I can write things down like freehand, so to say. But when I get to the point where I've got too many things written down, then I just say, okay, I'm going to transfer these to Word so I can move bullet points around, or I can add things, and that helps me a lot. Okay, so this is an example. So I started with the original outline here on the left. But the actual is how I changed it. And actually there's a few more steps that I added in the final since I created this outline. But you can see, I'm not going to make you go through that looking at all of these until the end, what the differences that between the original and what I actually did. So the next thing is the storyboard, and it is definitely the backbone of video production, at least for me. And And it's part of the pre-production process. Because I'm a visual person, I really like this method, and I'll explain a little more in the next slides. So I don't know if you can see that. It's so that's my storyboard. That's the first attempt. So it's visual, and I've sketched it on a big piece of paper here. The storyboard name came from a Disney animator called named Webb Smith, and he was credited with initiating an idea of telling a story in a sequence that involved drawing scenes on different pieces of paper and attaching them with a pin on a bulletin board. So when a lot of instructional designers will use this method when they're trying to build their concept, they'll just take sticky notes, or if they're working with an engineer, they'll have the engineer take a sticky note and say, well, this is the first step in the process, and this is the second step in the process for the second sticky note. So the idea is that you have kind of a visual plan, frame, and thinking of a video piece of, a film, a clip, so to say. Then you think in that method of like from frame to frame to frame. So the storyboard, I think, is used by a lot of people who are in production houses, so to say, where they are actually doing this, and the storyboard is an essential tool. So in this graphic, as you see here, is my visual overview of the volunteering recruiting video. And so this will coincide with my script eventually. So just wanted to give you I can't move this over, but so I use Word, and this is some of the frames that are written out here, like the nice to have frame. I did actually put the slide in there after I created it. However, typically what you do here is you will identify in the video what you're looking for. So I would say right up above that is graphic, is a photo of a woman with STC terms and the Google Suite. So you can identify the video by the written word, so to say. So now I just got into the details, but if you look at the overview here, what I do is I set up the frame, and then the section, the name of the section. I've missed some here, but the idea is I have the script in the middle, I have the video in one column, and I have the timing, and all of that is right in front of me. And I found that this is, I was able to read the script right from this particular document. So Word became a very simple tool for me to use, and one that I prefer because I don't know if any of you heard what I was afraid of at the beginning of this conference, but one of the things I dislike is spreadsheets, Excel. It just gets, but anyway, but I like the organization of a spreadsheet, and the columns or a table is a really nice for me to use, and a tool that I'm familiar with. There are different tools that can be used, but for creating this particular story for a storyboard. But again, I thought that this was the best one of all to use. So I'm going to go into the tools of the trade, which is basically the equipment that I used to produce this video. So that's called the production phase in broadcast terms. And on here. And so this is the process where you start to, you start to work on the actual content of your production of your video. So what I used for the video was my webcam. You can see it's in a circle there at on the left, and that's what I used to record the first section of the video, where I make an introduction to people who are listening to the video, but it is actually a video. So, and then I switch to the slides. So it was important to have the webcam because it actually creates, movement, a video, as opposed to slides. And you can make slides move, but they would have been in, I would have had to have done it in Camtasia, which was the editing and recording tool it is. So, and then you can see my computer. Obviously, my computer was very important to me in the use of this particular on this particular project. So you can see I have the monitor on the left, and I have the laptop on the right. So that was helpful in a lot of what I did, having the two screens, as has been suggested a lot today. So then the microphone I have here had used, was for the sound recordings, and it's a Go Mic Samson. And it was one that was recommended by Robert. I lost his last name, but and when he did a presentation for on sound, and it's been a pretty good microphone, and I really enjoyed the sound that it created once I got to the recording, which I happened to do in Camtasia. So software applications were pretty important here. Decisions had a lot to do with limitations. Limitations being like money, kind of a less than desirable studio experience, and all of those things that I'd been used to having. So it's kind of like the champagne on a beer budget that I had to think of. So I use Photoshop to create the slides, and of course I use Smart Art. And had I known that there were some decent slides available in Canva, I might have done it there, but I really went back and forth on what my slides should look like. And should I do it in Camtasia? They wanted extra money in Camtasia, so I thought, oh well, I don't know that I want to do that. And then their generic, I don't know, the generic templates just didn't work for me. And so that was a decision that I had to make. But Photoshop, I'm very familiar with Photoshop, and the Smart Art and the slide creation was really enough. I struggled, but it was enough. So then I used Snagit a lot. I purchased assets to Snagit assets, which were very helpful. So that I was able to use photos from stock photos that required no, no purchase or anything. So that was helpful. I also used Snagit to edit my photos and screenshots. Back in the day, I might have used something like Photoshop, but Snagit has become a very, very valuable tool in its simplicity for screen captures, etc. So again, Snagit, I bought the stock photos. Then I had purchased Camtasia last year because I had all of these ideas about doing projects, right? And what I ended up using Camtasia for it's a production tool, but mainly for editing the videos, what I ended up doing. So I didn't really use it as a recording other than the audio recording. And that was pretty magnificent that way. So what I used it for, Camtasia was a pretty good tool. Then I used Screencast for this demo that I'm going to that I will be showing you at the end, this demo. And eventually, hopefully, I'm hoping that we'll have this video on our YouTube channel. I did run into a few interesting issues with it, but with YouTube, but I'll figure that out later. And of course, then the good old Word document is a really substantial tool, and this, if you know how to use it, it's very, very helpful. I just capture all kinds of things in a Word document. So very appreciative of having Word. Okay, and now, so most of you know about Photoshop and Canva and all of those things that I mentioned, Word documents, that they're maybe some of you don't know anything, maybe some of you don't know anything about Camtasia, but it is one of those video recording applications and that does create videos, obviously. There are others. There's Captivate, which I've used, and let's see, audio. Let's see, what have I done? I'm trying to remember the other. I've used quite a few of them, but Articulate. There we go. Articulate is the other one that I've used as well. And PowerPoint, actually, you can create some video production with that too. So there are tools, different tools, but I like this one because of the fact that when I was in the studios, I was very familiar with the bottom part of this, and this is the recording track. So that you get to visually see where your slides are and where your audio is. So so that's a really valuable part of these recording tools, including Captivate. And let's see. So the media here, I just wanted to kind of show you the media bins. That's where I uploaded the slides. And so then it's really easy to just grab the slide, and then you lay it in the track, down, in the media track. And the audio, which again, I recorded that on on my in Camtasia. So you can see the record button at the very top in the left by the home button. So that actually allows you to create the audio, right? And then the audio are right here. Those audio media are right here in the media bin. So then you can just basically take the audio and dump it right here into the track. And so it's really, once you get to that stage of producing the recording, the video recording, you have all of these things at your fingertips. And this is where you actually view the canvas, is actually where you in the center of the screen, centered right, is where you actually view the screen and what's happening as you press the play button. So anyway, that is what I used Camtasia for. And I think it was a good choice. All right, so I've got it. So let's go through a quick review of the steps I took during the process of developing the video. Let's see, trying to figure out how much time. So I created a concept. I created a visual storyboard on paper first. Then I gathered information from the script and slides in a Word document. Then I entered the storyboard info into a Word document that I divided the script and video into. I created a template in PowerPoint and then started. Then I continued to work on the storyboard all the time I was doing this. And then I created the PowerPoint slides and added the graphics. And once I was finished with that, then I uploaded those slides and into the Camtasia, where I use and in Camtasia, remember, I used the audio script to read my the audio Word document. I should say not the audio Word document, but the document Word document to give me audio and script cues and so I recorded that in Camtasia. And then I recorded the opening of the video with my Logitech webcam and added special effects to the project in Camtasia, which was basically a border around my opening video. Then I continued to edit because the message kept on changing and test. And I'm really not finished with the 13 and 14. What I've done today is I have done a demo of this video that I've produced in screencast. And so it's not YouTube ready yet, but for demonstration purposes, this is still an ongoing process here. So I'm trying to figure out if I had let's see, if I have enough time here. Here's just a quick short list of some of the things that I really missed. Looking in retrospect, I really would have liked to have had feedback from others, starting with the concept. So in a regular house, a publishing house, or you would be doing, you'd have a group of people that would okay things and then give you feedback. And I think the most important thing would have been, for me, would have been nice to have a better concept. Excuse me, help on the concept. And then there were some in-home studio issues with lights and sound recordings, doing the recordings. For instance, the gardener next door just left earlier in the conference, but I had, when I was trying to, I had to keep in mind that those things were occurring around me. And then the lighting again was a challenge sometimes. So the way that one thing that did really work is because I practiced the script a lot, and then I had it in a format that was easy for me to use. That was a real winner. So I will continue to do that as I have done in the past, because it's a good way to go. I had some issues with the hot links. As a matter of fact, in YouTube, you cannot have hot links. So that's kind of a drawback in the final stage. So I have to work around that. So, and another thing that I did was I figured I had to be adaptable and take breaks, because I was really glued to the chair a lot. So, and I had to be mindful. I think I could do better on that next time around, because I think people need breaks from it. So the focus is kind of hard. It's difficult to maintain. So I'm going to get to the demo of the video, and if I've done it correctly, we'll see. I don't know.
I believe in you. Look at you. Excellent.
Okay. All right. So should be.
Hello, I'm Maralee Sautter, manager of the STC Instructional Design and Learning SIG. I have a message for you, so please stick around. I'm reaching out to you today to talk about our SIG, because we are very active in STC, and it's only possible because of our great team of volunteers. Take a look at our fun-loving volunteers for a moment, and while you're looking, you might notice that we have a few vacant positions. Yes, we need more volunteers for special projects, newsletter articles, and additional members to help on our committees. Most of all, we need to fill our leadership roles, specifically that of co-manager and assistant manager. So if you have leadership skills or a passion to learn them, then consider stepping up. What are the requirements for co-manager and assistant manager? There aren't many, but you do need to be an STC member and an IDL SIG member if you aren't already. And we ask that you dedicate several hours per month to the SIG, with some months taking more time than others. What are we looking for in a manager? Well, someone who is organized, responsible, and able to follow through. Also, you need to be able to work independently and coordinate with other team members in a virtual setting. Also able, with training, to run a Zoom meeting. What would be nice to have? Well, knowledge of STC terms and lingo would be great. Knowledge of the tools we use, such as the Google Suite, G Drive, and Slack. But no worries, we can train you. So the most important quality of all is a willingness to work, share, and learn. There are many benefits to volunteering. The experience looks good on your resume, feels good to give back, and meeting like-minded people makes you feel like you belong. There are other reasons too. So come on and join our team of superstars as co-manager, assistant manager, or in any other volunteer position. We'd really be happy if you do. If you're interested in any of these opportunities, please reach out to me, Maralee Sautter, by clicking the LinkedIn button or sending to my listed email. Thank you for your time, and don't hesitate to contact me.
Okay.
Applause, applause. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you. It was, it still needs a little polishing, but we'll get to that after in time. So Do we have time for question and answer, or are we up against?
So let's see. Alex is the next presenter.
Mhm.
And then after Alex, we are just going to have our costume contest. So Alex, let's see. Oh yeah, we definitely have time. Let's take a few minutes for question and answer. I've got a couple of questions and I'm sure other people do too.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, well, speaking of thank you, I just hit the slide. Wait, there we go. So, what was your question, Vicki?
Turn on your camera.
Oh,
I want to see your face.
all right. Thank you for the reminder.
Yes. And you're going to show us your hat later, right?
Do you want me to put it on now?
Might as well.
Let's see. Where am I? Okay. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. It's off in a corner. It's the two screens, which are not necessarily compatible.
So yeah, a lot of the biggest takeaway that I learned from you today is I am not doing a detailed enough storyboard. I think I tend to do seat of the pants kind of but most of my experience is making software instructional tutorials. So a lot of it is just I have a screenshot and I know what's going on, but I think I could probably be more organized and save time in the back end if I did a better job with the storyboard. And you like Word for that?
It's easy enough. I mean, you just do your columns, but there are, I completely forgot what they are, but there are some available storyboards. And I mean, if you prefer jotting them down on a piece of paper, that's fine too. But the script is easy to read if you're looking at the camera. Like I would have my script right down here, so it looks like I'm talking to you, right?
Right.
And so it's really easy when you have something to put on the screen. Well, that will help you while you're actually doing the recording. So, I mean, you could also do it. I mean, if you want, you could do paper. Read off of a script on paper if you want to print it out. I don't know what this is the way that I like it, is just a simple Word document with columns. And it gets a little messy if you are, like if you were doing a tutorial, it gets a little messy if you're clicking off to some jog in the road where there's like an option. So there are, in other words, in the you have a yes or no question. So you click something, there's a hot link on the screen and it goes to a different spot in the recording. And so this type of a simple script and audio storyboard is not quite as good for something like that. So depending on the details that you have in your video, I would encourage you to use just the simple approach, because I think it's really an awesome approach for me anyway.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, nobody has any other questions then. Okay. All right. So in that case, thank you, Vicki, for the
all right. Well, and everybody will have applause for Maralee, and we'll see if anybody noticed the not so subtle, subliminal, we need volunteers messages to see. But thank you so much. Thanks for sharing with us. I'm going to pause the recording.
Okay.